Hello everyone. Today we've got Ahmed Sabbah with us, who is the co-founder and CEO of Telda. Ahmed previously built Civil as a co-founder and CTO. He founded the company in 2017 with Mustafa Kandil and Mahmoud Nu, and left it earlier this year to start building this fintech, a digital banking app, which they call the Money app in Egypt. They've made a very big announcement today. By the time the interview actually goes out, they would have made that announcement. So we're very excited to have Sabah with us today. Thank you so much, Sabah, for joining. How are you doing?
Thank you a lot, Zubair. It's a pleasure having me on this video. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. So first of all, for the users, can you please tell us a little bit about what Telda does, why you decided to build it?
So as you said, like Telda, how we would like to call it is basically the money app. So we're aspiring to build the easiest and fastest way to send, spend, and save money. So as a customer, you can sign up from the app. You get your MasterCard a couple of days later. You can use it to spend online, in stores, withdraw cash from any ATM worldwide, pay your bills, like do a few of the PFM tools, like seeing how much you spend per month, being on top of your spending, control how, when, and where your card work, and last but not least, send and request money instantly and for free from family and friends, and using personalized messages, emojis, and few of the expressive features, I'd say. So tapping and providing more of an experience that appeals to the young generation, or basically Gen Z.
And how is it different from some of the other options available in the market, like a regular app by, let's say, a digital app by a regular bank, or some of the other mobile wallets that are available from telecom operators, or these other players? How is it different from them?
So it's basically and mostly about experience, right? Usually big corporations, banks, telecom, and so on, they really don't appeal to young consumers. They don't understand digital natives who were born expecting technology and like better UX and UI from every interaction you do, whether with money or socially or anything. So what we're aspiring to do is basically build an appealing experience. So, for example, tapping into the peer-to-peer use case, like sending small ticket of money, like sharing a birthday gift, or sharing a trip expense, or paying someone back for coffee. So these small money interactions, bringing the social part to it and make it more of enjoyable experience, I'd say. So that's one, and two is basically a better spending experience. So I think what usually Gen Z and millennials focus on is the ability to save money, and save money not by tapping into financial products, but more by understanding where their money goes. So how much do you spend per month, in which things, like is in shopping, in restaurants, in food, and in which merchants they do the most. And by having that knowledge, you will have the ability to control how they spend and budget on top of that. So this is basically what we're aspiring to build, something that appeals to young generations and digital natives that financial institutions or telecom institutions and so on are failing miserably to do in emerging markets.
Right. Let's talk a little bit about the exciting part, the news that you've announced today. You've raised $5 million in a pre-seed round, which was led by Sequoia, their first investment in the Middle East and North Africa. And the round also included participation of Class 5 Global and Global Founders Capital, who are investing for the first time in Egypt. Both have been lately active in the region, in the Middle East, and in some cases in Pakistan as well, but their first investment in Egypt. So first of all, I have a couple of questions on this, but first of all, how was Sequoia involved in this? How did they, decided that they want to invest in this? Did you approach them, or what's the story there?
So the story is simply, unexpectedly, actually, is a cold reach out. Like for us, when we started back like a month or 2 months back earlier, we like I personally believe that the opportunity we're tapping into is huge, right? It's very noticeable. Anyone can see it in the region, whether in Egypt or in the region. And it's a green field, right? And no one is kind of driving the adoption to digital payments or leading that adoption at least. So as an opportunity, like I personally believe and we personally believe that this is a huge opportunity, right? An uncaptured opportunity. And at the same time, we see that the team we have in place is building, let's say, a world-class experience, so tapping into the problem the right way. So has the opportunity to capture that and lead the adoption, the driving of the adoption. So having said that, this can be an interesting opportunity for anyone, right? Even if tier one VCs. So I believed in that from the beginning, and like before even speaking to any of the investor, just went on LinkedIn and seeing the partners in Sequoia, like as simply as that. Like seeing partners in Sequoia US and trying to find basically if they have like offices in London or in Europe to kind of reach out to the right person. So I kind of made a lot of cold reach outs. And like I think a month or a couple of weeks later, like George from Sequoia just replied back to me. We spoke the same day. He was very much excited about the opportunity. The next day, he spoke with his partner Luciana. A couple of days later, I spoke with the US panel. So basically, Rule of Pota, Alfred Lin, or Douglas, like few of the big names in Sequoia US panel. And same day at night, a couple of hours later, they were. They wanted to even take the whole round. So,
Wow, okay.
so like this is how it simply is.
Okay. And when you were reaching out to them, were you expecting a response as quick as you received it, or I mean, you thought of giving it a shot? I mean, thinking that maybe it's a long one, but let's just try it anyway.
So, like honestly, didn't have any expectations. I'll be frank about that. So just shooting for the stars, shooting these cold messages and connections on LinkedIn. Yeah.
Right, right. And how long did it take from that first message that you sent on LinkedIn to actually, getting a yes from Sequoia? How long the entire process took?
So basically, from the first cold reach out, I think it took a couple of weeks. So basically, it started at the beginning of the fundraising, and George from Sequoia kind of replied to me almost on the same day that we were going to sign a term sheet. So it was kind of like
Wow,
exactly
okay.
the right time. And the process itself, from speaking to George, then Luciana, his partner, and then the Sequoia US panel, took around 5 days, no more.
Right. So you've got three investors. Obviously, Sequoia led the round, and then you've got Class 5 and Global Founders Capital as well. Who was the first yes?
So the first yes was Class 5 Global. It was just after one single call. And they were kind of obsessed about the opportunity, the product, the team. It was the fastest yes to have. Yeah, like it was Class 5. And after that, it was GFC, so Global Founders Capital. They wanted to lead the round. And as I said, like at the same time we were kind of signing that term sheet, Sequoia came back with a response.
Right.
And luckily we have kind of a world-class suite of VCs in a round like that.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And when it comes, let's move a little bit towards the app, the launching. There has been obviously a lot of high buzz around, since you first announced that you're building this. I've seen a lot of people, even on my Facebook, getting excited about the product. Obviously, my Facebook would not be, the right medium to judge the interest, because most of the people that I have on Facebook from Egypt are in the tech space. So, naturally they're excited about something like this, but it still gives you an idea. So what's the status of the app, the card right now? How many users do you have on the wait list, and how many cards have you shipped?
So now we're more of in a pre-launch phase. So we're not ready to print and issue cards as we speak. So what we wanted to do is basically we wanted to see more of an initial product market fit. So we believe we see the pain clear. We believe that we're solving this pain, but we need validation, right? And we need to find our very early beginning niche that are going to be our supporters, right? So we rolled out the app in a pre-launch phase. You can basically install the app, you can sign up and order your card. So you jump on a waiting list to be the first who receive their cards when you start issuing, as well as you're able to like go through the app, see the experience of sending money or the experience of the spending analytics and insights, card controls. You can get a sense of what Tilda is and explore the app experience. So this is what we aim to do. We didn't expect that much traction early on, to be honest. So just rolled it out, did few posts on social media, and now in a couple of weeks we have around 17,000 people on the waiting list who are have ordered their cards, and few others, a lot who sign up, around 30,000 signups that we have. So it shows like more than what we expected to see from kind of an early market adoption. And for us, it's important as well that this is kind of inside a single, like few close communities. So, for example, me myself, if I'm not the best kind of case to explain, but if I open the app right now, I'll see 200 of my contacts already on Telda, right? So it kind of makes sense for me from day one to use it to send and request money from friends. Like I'm not mostly everyone who want to send money to will be in these 200 people on my contact list, right? So this is simply where we are now. We've closed a lot of things, as you mentioned. We finalized our first investment. We've also finalized our license from the Central Bank of Egypt, and it's a matter of very little time to launch. So one thing about that is when working in financial services and building something as we're building, there is a lot of uncertainties, right? You cannot be looking at a very accurate timeline because like you work with a lot of external entities, right? A few integrations that you make, and like building the blocks of this, it's something that usually have uncertainty. But for us, we're very close. Like we see a very little number of weeks for us to be able to issue our first card and start delivering cards to everyone on the waiting list very, very soon.
Right. And when it comes to some of the users already, getting frustrated with not being able to receive their card, how do you explain to address their concerns? What do you plan to do? Because, I mean, from your side, yes, you're making all the efforts you can to expedite the things on your end and being able to ship the cards, but it's obvious from, some of the social media posts that people are, getting a little frustrated about not being able to receive their cards yet. So what do you plan to do to address their concerns?
So, like first of all, these are quite obvious concerns, as you mentioned. In the side that we feel the frustration and we're worried about the frustration of our customer. At the same time, we see how much our customers are looking forward to this, right? And excited about it. We really are cautious about not wanting our customers to move from being excited into frustrated. And basically what we're doing is we're doing as much as we can do to move faster in this. So basically, like the team having sleepless nights, working all around the clock to make it happen. That is actually very soon happening, as I was mentioning. So the wait is not going to be for long. I think our customers, when they try this experience and get the card, they will see that it's worth the wait. And we promise them this 100%.
Right. Like you said, it's very difficult for a fintech to define timelines, especially because there are a lot of stakeholders that are involved, and there are compliance issues that have to be addressed. But is it possible for you to share if we're talking about weeks or months when it comes to the first set of users getting their cards?
So like a rough timeline of that, we're seeing a 4 to 6 weeks timeline for having the card issued.
Right.
This kind of a safe one.
Right. And once you start issuing the first batch of cards, the next batch of users are also going to get it immediately. It's not like once you've started the process, there's going to be another long wait time for the next set of users.
No. So basically, when we're out, we're all out. So when you start issuing the first card, all cards will be issued in few days from issuing the first card.
Right. And can you tell us a little bit about this license that you've just acquired? I think this is also, a new development. So if we can quickly talk a little bit about that.
So the license we have is kind of a first of its kind license in Egypt. So as you know, from a regulatory standpoint, the Central Bank of Egypt is kind of progressing massively when it comes to regulating and incentivizing fintech startups to tap into opportunities, right? And what we know the central bank is doing is kind of publishing regulations for the digital banks very soon. But until now, it's not yet. And the license that we have acquired is more of a tailored license for us to be able to operate until the digital banking license is up. So this license is called the banking agent license, and it gives us like all what we need actually to provide the MVP that I've discussed. So basically providing the better spending experience, spending insights, issuing cards to customers, being able to send and request money instantly and for free, and also all of the cash in and cash out methods, whether it's from bank transfers, card top-ups, ATMs, all the ins and outs that we need in terms of deposits and cash outs.
Right. Thank you, Ahmed. Just one last question before we sign off. What's the grand vision? What is it that you want to build in the next 5 to 10 years? Yes, you're building a money app for the users immediately, and we're able to spend money and manage their money using Telda. But what do you hope to achieve in 5 to 10 years?
As I said, I think the money app in terms of like a name for what we're building kind of shows what we're looking at this. So we're looking at more of changing the money experience, the dealing with money experience, all the interaction that you do, whether it starts from how you spend your money on day one or how you send and request money from people. And it's endless, right? If you can move money from someone's pocket to another, you have the infrastructure to make that happen. It's endless. Sky's the limit, right? And you start optimizing on what customers want. So if customer wants like better experience in spending, if they want kind of budgeting tools, if they want other financial services, other investing or saving services, this is what we always tap into. But the grand scheme of vision is basically building the experience that customers are expecting to interact with their money in all the various ways, whether in Egypt or in the MENA region.
Right. Thank you so much, Ahmed. Thanks a lot for joining in, and best of luck with whatever is next for Telda. Thank you for joining in.
Thank you, Zubair. Thank you for having me today. Have a great day.